All right, good evening, everybody. This is James, and I am back to doing my video recaps. Sorry about last week, but I did have to go out of town for work and wasn't going to be able to trade much, let alone be able to make any videos. So I tried to post as much as I could on Twitter to give you those recaps, but I'll do a quick video here for like a weekly recap of how last week went. So, it actually was started bad and ended good. If you guys are following me, let's see, day 14. I actually had a bad day. I lost $122. Hit me really bad. Dropped me down, $355, dollars. So as you know, that's a big hit when you're starting with a small challenge here. I traded 4 trades that day, and let's see which ones was my first. So it looks like I did Verizon first, and this one was a call option, and I actually entered it on this candle here. At the break of this one, it looked like it was going to break through and keep going, and it did not. It reversed on me, and I got out of that one. I tried to keep losses low, but I didn't. I held on too long. I took a 28% loss on that one. I held it till 11 o'clock, and you know, I held it way too long. As you can see, 11 o'clock is about here. Um, it just wasn't going to turn around. I thought maybe after this, I did actually get profitable, but it was about 1 or 2%, and then it dropped. It didn't reverse. It just kept going. And finally, I just cut my losses and got out of Verizon. So that was my first one. That didn't start the day too well. That was about $33 loss there. The next trade I entered was Starbucks. This one I actually held overnight. Excuse me. I entered it at 7-Eleven. On 122, right? Yeah, 7-Eleven. So that was a call as well. So I entered it here on the break of this candle and tried to just go ahead and get a high a day run and get out. It actually did not do that, as most of you are aware, and I held on to it until the next morning. It kind of traded sideways for the most part. I didn't get a huge upside down loss. It went sideways. I wasn't really worried about too much. Was this my daily chart? On that day, was it 122? So it was, is this it? Yeah. It was still on an upward trend, so that's the reason why I stuck with it, is it was still kind of a bullish trend. So I hung out with it and let it ride another day, and I sold it the next morning for actually a fairly decent gain. I got 20% gain on that one, so that helped out. You can see on day 15, Starbucks been a nice run, and I made up my loss and netted or grossed $43 on that day. Okay, I entered this one here, AA. I don't even know what the name of that one is. What is that? Alcoa. There we go. So I entered this off a test scan, and I kind of am regretting it now, but what can I say? It was a test scan that I did. I entered at AM here. Sorry, I'm going to edit while I'm doing the video. 12:39. Towards the end of the day, I entered this 4 puts, and it was going kind of sideways, but it was down on the day. That was my scan. What time I entered? 12:39. So I entered down here, and I was actually watching it for a drop down, 122. Yeah. So it went down, but the next day it was green. So that put me upside down too. You know, I was only down 7% at the end of that day, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But then it went green the following day, and as you can see, I was, you know, down 36%. I decided to hold on to it because it is a fairly longer expiration date, and I am still in that trade. It was slowly getting better. I gained $4 the following day, and then Friday, it was a bad day. It got away from me, and you know, I was all the way down to 73% upside down. It was hard for me to manage trades last week, and I should have got out of it, but it's actually doing well. It made up about half of its losses, and I made $33 today. I'm only down 40%. Still a lot, but I'm still fairly confident in this trade. It's still kind of trading down below the 200 MAs. So I'm going to hang out with it. I got a couple of days left on the expiration. I got 4 days left, so I'm losing value here. But if I get one more good day like today, I should at least break even on that trade. So that's what's going on there with that one. AMD, it's my favorite stock. I love it and I hate it at the same time. Wow, that one I got out. Yeah, I carried that one actually from the week before, and it was going against me for a while here. Let's see, AMD, I was down 64% and down 72 the next day. You know, Wednesday, Thursday, it started to come back a little bit, and I was only down 23%. At this point, I had 2 days left, and Friday, believe it or not, I actually closed AMD for a 10% gain. I think that morning, let me see, AMD, yeah. So it rallied enough on expiration date that I was managed to get what, 9.8% of a profit after holding it for 11 days. That was a hopes and dream play at that point, and it worked out for me, so I'm happy with that. I also traded, no, AA was the last one that day. Okay, so that was day 14, and just really quick, you can see again, recap, it was a bad day. I lost $122. Everything went red. I only closed one position out, which was Verizon. I kept the other 3 open. So that was day 14. We kind of covered most of these here. Day 15, as you know, I closed out Starbucks for a really great gain. We already went over AMD as well as AA. So I placed 2 other ones, which was CVS and American Airlines. And American Airlines, I placed that one at the end of the day. And I actually placed this one as an earnings trade. Yeah. Going into the following day. And it worked out for me to my advantage. You know, I bought it very last, last 15 minutes of the trading day with anticipation that it was going to have good earnings and go up. And it did. I closed it about 2 hours into the trading day the next day, and I got 30% gain on that one. So that was a big win. That helped out in my losses for Verizon and starting to slowly trickle my gains back up. I also played CVS, which yeah, I played that overnight too. Ugh, 23, yeah. So at the end of the day with CVS, I was up 1.5%, but I actually ended up closing it and getting a big loss on that one. As you can see, I lost $43 on that trade. I held it overnight. Shouldn't have done that. Wasn't even an earnings play. 12:46 that day. CVS on the 23rd. Yeah, 1246. So I bought this one with anticipation that it was going to go up, and it did not. It got down, and I just got out of that trade. Didn't work. This is why you don't hold overnight. So yeah, that was also a bad trade. So that hurt me. And then having AA go down, not doing didn't do too well on that one. AMD was still going down, so I had a bad day. I made $15 that day, but it really wasn't the greatest day. Still under $400 on Wednesday. Okay, on Thursday we started to recover a little bit. As you know, okay, it only made $4 that day, but it was slowly coming back down. And my American Airlines earnings play worked out. AMD did a good recovery that day, made up a significant amount of its loss back up. CVS, that was a loss there. Okay, I paid First Solar as well, and I swung this one. I bought it at the end of the day. It actually had announcement, gosh, what was it? An upgrade, I believe it was. So I entered that one at the end of the day, and it was already up 14% before market closed, but I had no settled funds available, so I was not able to close it out. So I went ahead and stayed with it into the next morning, and I closed it out fairly decent for Solar. I closed it out for 30% gain 4 minutes into the open. So that was a good game. And then Starbucks, I played the earnings on Starbucks as well. I entered that one right before First Solar, about 11:30. So, and I was down. Wrong one. I was down a lot at the close of that day, but it did have good earnings, and it skyrocketed the next morning. And I made $88 on that, but it was actually a significant gain. Okay, 50%. When market opened, I was up over 100% on this trade, and I just could not get the sell in fast enough. And it kept going down and down, and then it kind of just stabilized between 40 and 50%. So rather than holding it out and seeing if it was going to go back up, I took the 50%, was not going to complain. So I made $86. So that was a great day. That helped me a lot and brought me back up. $163 that day, put me back over 500 all the way up to 560. So we're back to, above the $500 starting amount. And that's pretty much it for last week. The only one I held over the weekend was AA, and I'll get into that one into the next video because I am still in it again. But as of Friday, we started bad and ended good. I was all the way down to like 350, and we're back up above to 560. So we're going to make up the couple of bad days, and we're going to get this thing going again. All right, thank you. Have a great day.